Yeah, I got the call about 10:30 last night, which I was already in bed. So this morning, let's see what happens. All right. My name is Kim Clark, and the theme of the month is prayer. And how many people saw me talk last week, either online or, okay, good. All right, good. I was told that on Facebook there's over 2,000 views of the talk last week. So if you were a part of sharing that, thank you so much for doing that. Because sometimes when I talk, it's like 150 views, and then it's like 2.3 thousand views. I don't know what happens, but thank you to all of you who wanted to share it and viewed it yourself. So I was talking about living on a prayer last week. And this week, the topic that Rev D had chosen is maintaining a praying spirit. Now, if you need an example of somebody who knows how to maintain a praying spirit, that's Reverend Deborah Johnson. That woman has been through it all. In the 15 years I've been part of the Inner Light community, I have seen her and heard her stories of triumph and failure, and she has stayed consistent and resilient through it all. And now she's at a time where she is at her mother's bedside. And so if you're looking for an example, look to Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, because she has kept the vision pulling her no matter what is going on. Something she reminded us recently about prayer is that we have a tendency to, if there's something big that we want, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's that person to ask you out, I don't know, or a baby, or move to another house, we remember to pray. That's when we remember, is like when there's something big, or there's something going on in life that's forcing us to remember to pray. Like the situation Rev D is in right now. And the situation I shared with you when last week on how I've been going through a divorce. And I shared with you that I recently found out that I had been followed by private investigators over several weeks. And so, one of the things that I've been asked is like, how are you doing this? And one of the things I want to share with you is how I've been able to maintain consistent through it all and be resilient. And when I keep in mind what Rev D talks about of like, we get what we want, or we get through that thing that we were just challenged by, we get it, and then we forget it. And that's not what maintaining a praying spirit is all about, yes? It's about resiliency. It's about taking the hits. It's about riding the waves. So I shared with you also last week that integrity is what has helped me stay accountable through all of this, and accountable to the person that I am becoming. That's my word of the year, is becoming. So integrity is my accountability partner in helping me become the person I want to be. Because I'm not there yet. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't lived that yet. It's unknown. Does that make sense? So I don't know what I'm doing. That's basically what I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I kind of have to, if I want integrity to help keep me accountable, I have to maintain a praying spirit. I kind of have to. So when I found out about the several weeks of being followed by private investigators, I shared with you last week that initially I was in shock. And shortly after I started processing through those feelings of shock, complete and utter shock, I literally went into my room. I also shared this, that I usually have a conversation out loud with God. Sometimes it's in my head, but if I'm in my house by myself or my kids are there and are asleep and not paying attention, I just out loud talk. And what I said while I was processing those feelings of shock, is I was saying to myself, okay, God, I really said this. Who do you need me to be right now? Like, what? I surprised myself. I shocked myself because the Kim of last year, of 6 months ago, of 5 years ago, would not have said that. I would have come up with all kinds of swear words, revenge plans, I don't know, banana in a tailpipe, I don't know. I've never done that. I would never do that. But the thoughts, they cross your mind. But I actually said, who do you need me to be right now? How do I need to show up in this? It's happened. I can't stop it. I can't deny it. I can't ignore it. It's done. So now I have the invitation to respond or react. So who do I need to be right now, God? Because I don't know. I haven't been that person yet. Because I haven't been in this situation before. Are you with me? So I have to be curious, not controlling. Because I don't know what to do. I've never done this before. Katie Hendricks is an author, has the book Conscious Loving. How many of you have read Conscious Loving? It's a classic. I really encourage it. She talks about, yes, there's commitment, and then there's recommitment. And the secret of maintaining a praying spirit is in the recommitment. So when things are going my way in the divorce, my way, whatever that is, whenever I get to be with my kids or I get that new job, it's like, okay, I can be in gratitude for that, right? And I could commit to show up to that new job. I can commit to show up for my kids when I have them. But it's when it gets hard and I'm asked and invited once again, were you serious about that then? And are you serious about that now? And I'm invited to recommit to the vision that's pulling me, to the bigger picture. And I don't get stuck in the drama of the moment. When I received a week ago 500 pages that were added to our court file from the other side, 500 pages, 493 to be exact, I think. Okay, first of all, I ain't gonna read that right now, I can tell you that. I have to be in a certain mood. But I also didn't let it take me down and make everything else less important. I didn't chase after the shiny new thing. And I started a mantra based on Rev D's saying of drama is optional. Someone else's drama is not more important than the health in my body and the relationships that are important to me. Brene Brown says, you should make a list of the people who, what they think about you matters. Who are the people in your life that what they think about you matters? You know how big that list should be? She says a little tiny piece of paper. So choose wisely on who it matters. My kids, how they think of me, that matters. They're on the list. My girlfriend, my parents, my tribe. Short list. I'm on that list. It matters to me what I think of me, and that helps with the integrity. So that helps me feel motivated to recommit, even when stuff gets thrown in the obstacle saying, were you serious about staying in love? Because I just wanted to challenge you one more time. And then something else, another opportunity to grow. Something else, something else, something else. Recommit, recommit, recommit. Because I got no time to contribute to the negativity. I do not have time for that. I don't know how much time I have on this planet, but I know for sure I don't have time for that. I do not have time to contribute to the negativity. My kids don't need it. I don't need it. My body doesn't need it. My friends don't need it. The buck stops with me. That's a choice. And it's maintaining a praying spirit. Something you might be interested in is the Hendricks also have workshops and whatnot, and they have something called the 4 pillars of integrity. And these definitions, I'm not going to go into them deep, but I want to introduce them to you and then encourage you to research it yourself if this is something that resonates with you as a tool on defining and living in integrity. The first is impeccable agreements. Impeccable agreement. So that's about, we have an agreement that we're always going to have the heart-to-heart talk, that it's a safe space that we can share what's going on with each other. And we stick to it and revise as needed. Authentic speaking and resonant listening, also known as conscious communication. So you're always speaking your truth from where you are, and you resonate in the listening, you're listening back, and you're present and you're active. You're not just waiting to say whatever you want to say on top of what somebody's about to share. That's not okay. That's not an integrity. Emotional intelligence, that's giving your own feelings a safe space and giving the feelings of the other people also a safe space. Feelings are guidances. Is that a word? Guidances? Is that a word? Plural? All right. It's church. We can do whatever we want. To me, feelings are good. And it's just energy going through your body. Even pain. It serves a purpose. It gets its time. And then healthy responsibility. And the healthy responsibility, Katie Hendricks talks about, it's not just a responsibility in the like, I am responsible. It's responsibility and a response ability. Your ability to respond, not react. That's acting in integrity. So these pillars help guide me through the good times and the bad. Last year when I was interviewing for a new job, I was looking for more money. I'm a single mom now. I have my own place. I have rent. I have bills of my own that I have to support. And so easy to remember to pray then. And then I get it. And then I forget it. And I'm like, dang it, I forgot it. Right? Because something else comes along and reminds us, you forgot, didn't you? You're trying to do this on your own, weren't you? How's that working for you? But that response has also helped me in resiliency. Being resilient. So let me share with you the definition of resilient. Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. These aren't the spiritual definitions from Rev D. This is, Webster, dictionary.com. I kind of cheat, right? Able to recoil or spring back into shape after bending, stretching, or being compressed. You think this relates at all to what we're talking about? Or am I just out of left field here? We have to be grounded in something. Rooted like a willow tree bending in the wind. We have to. Because what's the alternative? We can get blown like the leaves to God knows where. You're not attached to anything. It's just, you're going with the way of the wind, and you don't know where you're going to end up, but not in a healthy way, not in a guided way. You're just all over the map, and you might try all kinds of different behaviors. And you might be taking it out on people who have nothing to do with your situation. Our feelings and our angers might be coming out sideways. That's not fair to other people. We have to own it. We have to own our own stuff. Resiliency and being resilient to me is being grounded, trusting in the divine order. Things may not go according to my plan. divine timing. I would have liked to have been divorced 2 years ago. But for whatever reason, it's playing out the way it's playing out. And I tell you, I would not be where I am without these lessons. Because these lessons, as ugly as they have been, as hard as they have been, and God knows what comes next. Because I shared with you that the custody evaluation report is going to come out in the next couple of weeks. It's still not out yet, so I am still living on a prayer. But I'll be resilient no matter what happens, because I'm grounded. Thank you for the woot. It's not easy. And I don't have any magic formula. All I do is do what Rev T tells me to do, basically. I've listened to her for 15 years. I've taken her courses, and I do what she says, and I follow my heart. And if she needs to go to LA to be with her mom, and I'm the first person they call, you bet I'm going to say yes. And I hope when you get the call that you say yes too. Because that's what we're here for. And if you're grounded in something, fear has no place. It's obvious to say yes. Because if we don't, here's another alternative. We can tank. We can start making up what's going to happen. I could spend a lot of time and energy right now making up what's going to be in that evaluation report. I could totally go down that road and say, it could be this, and then I'm not going to have that, and then I'm going to have this, then I'll have no money, and then this is going to happen. And I can get all spun up in that. I have every right and every opportunity to do that. That is a valid option. Nobody would blame me for that. I can totally go there. It would become my reality. I would then be responding to that, or reacting actually, to that reality. And then none of it has happened. None of it has happened. I've made it all up. But I can tank off of that if I wish to tell that story. But because our attention is the most valuable thing that we have, and I've learned that the hard way, I choose to put my attention on what I want. Because I have that free will. I'm going to put my attention on what I want. And I put my effort there. I put my love there. But I also release it. Because I don't know everything. I don't know what I don't know. But I just encourage you, as you go through whatever you need to go through, don't get it and then forget it. Maintain a praying spirit. Allow yourself to spend the time and your attention and your energy on what you want. Don't waste it on stuff that you don't want, because it could feel like a protection mechanism of like, well, if I tell myself, all these bad things can happen, and then when they actually happen, I'm protected. Oh, man, what did you do that for? Right? What do you want to create? What do you want to allow? Where's your vibration at? So what does it take? What's going to work for you? What works for me is accountability. In the integrity. That I have integrity and I am accountable by my own integrity. That's what works for me to remain consistent. And to be resilient through the ups and the downs of life. There's so many tools out there available. There's classes that we have here at Inner Light. There's people you can learn from. There's prayer that you can utilize. You don't have to do this alone. Prayer comes in all different forms. We talked about that last week. Do what works for you. Just don't do it alone. And don't forget that that connection is there for you at all times. Pam and Ron, during our prep today, were talking about when they're in grief, and it can feel overwhelming sometimes, they honor those feelings. They allow them to be, but they don't stay stuck there. And one of the things that is kind of their secret that helps them not stay there is gratitude. It's actually the easiest thing to do in a moment's notice, and it can take you far. So even if you don't see the blessings in what's going on and what might be heavy or happy on your heart right now, if you don't, sometimes you can't see the blessings, and that's okay. But there's something in there that you can be grateful for. And maybe if you can't get there yet, that's okay too. Self-compassion. Be grateful that there's air to breathe. That has nothing to do with the situation at hand, but you can step over to gratitude. It could be for the car that let you in. It could be for that kid who opened the door. It could be for the poetry of a 5 and 8 and 14-year-old whose short amount of time mattered. Make yours matter. Oprah and Deepak have a free meditation experience right now, so if you really don't want to pay anything and have no obligation to do anything, but want to practice meditation, sign up for that. It's manifesting grace through gratitude. That's their topic. So if that's something that you want to amplify as a spiritual quality in your life, is gratitude, or having grace, feeling grace, that's another tool that's available to you. So I know every time I get up here, it seems like let's workshop Kim's life. And I want you to know that you are a part of my healing. Because I do choose to feel, I do choose to deal, and I do choose to heal. And you know, do you mind taking out your programs? Let's look at the affirmation again. And I think this is our closing prayer. If you don't have the program with you, you can make a friend next to you. But this is how we'll close. This is our closing prayer, okay? Thank you, Nate. So it's on the screen as well. I want you to let these words sink in. I'm going to try to say them with as much passion as I feel them. And I hope it breaks through. And I hope that your heart is open and that your mind is open and that you're just being willing to be willing to be willing. To maintain having a praying spirit. So you can be consistent and you can be resilient. You can bounce back after being bent and stretched and compressed. Because you ain't got time to contribute to the negativity. And your time here matters. I am an open channel for divine goodness and grace. I choose to go with the flow, trusting in its currents. I am renewed every day by countless blessings, seen and unseen. I am aware of pure spirit expressing as me. My grateful heart compels me to pray throughout the day. My way becomes clearer, my intentions become pure. Through prayer, I receive guidance and direction. Prayer makes things transparent, allowing me to make better choices. Prayer influences what I say, think, and do. Prayer heals how I feel. Prayer cleanses my soul, setting me on the right path. Blessings to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.